Thank you, Eric, for asking that question. That's a deep question, yeah, and when we talk about organic foods, what comes to mind? In most people's minds is that food which is grown without chemicals, harsh agrochemicals manufactured without pesticides, and that is consumed. And oftentimes what comes to mind is food for the rich, food for the elite, some idea that came from outside. I would like to tell the audience and correct that myth that organic foods is not an elitist subset of food that's expensive, that's available. I like to demystify that myth and say, no, 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 no. Good people, organic foods are foods that were grown and consumed by our grandfathers, by our ancestors, for our forebearers, because it was grown in tandem with natural systems. Basically, the four things that define what organic food is that it's food that's grown without the use of external inputs, particularly seeds that come from outside, that are not indigenous, that are not available, that are not resilient with the environment, and also the inputs, having to go and get some fertilizers that are synthetically manufactured in some factory, NPK for example, and then applying them on the soil. It's that system where composting, mulching, manure was put together in the local environment, the leftovers of nature, the leaves, the poo-poo from the chicken and the cows and the goats that was used, put in the soil, and allowed the soil microorganisms to generate nutrients that were fed onto this. So really, the definition of organic foods is that this is food which is safe. Why? Because it's free from those toxic external inputs like agrochemicals that now we know more and more that they damage our gut. Remember I said, Hippocrates said, all disease begins and ends in the gut. The gut is the stomach. So as we continue discussing, we will see how this links up with COVID, because COVID is a disease that has ravaged everywhere, and for some reason people think Africa has been saved. I can say without the fear of contradiction that organic angle, that safe, diverse, local, traditional foods is part of the medicine that has saved, up to now, most of the Africans from COVID. It's not the vaccine, because they have not been vaccinated before. So the puzzle has to do with the integrity, the immunity, the wellness, and the robustness of our gut systems in terms of the immune system. Because as we'll discuss perhaps later, up to 80% of the immune system is in our stomachs, in our guts. So really, going organic, which is what we are appealing through this discussion, is going into that kind of farming and food production that uses what's locally available, that's diverse, that's nutrient-rich, that does not use external pesticides, chemicals, herbicides, that we now know are not just damaging our systems, that are damaging the soil and depleting the soil from accessing micronutrients, the zinc, the manganese, the magnesium, all those elements that are part of what ensures that our ecosystem, our internal ecosystem, functions